Don't forget to like and share this broadcast with your friends and family on Facebook Live as well as on YouTube. Let all of your friends and family know to subscribe so that you know when the Center of Hope is going live.
The best day of my life. Today is going to be the best day of my life. Listen, somebody asked me today, how are you doing, Bishop? I said, if it got any better, I think it was a setup. Listen, this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Welcome, all the Real Talkers tonight that have come into the Real Talk studio this evening to join us for another edition of Real Talk 2024. I'm your co-host on tonight, Bishop Mitchell G. Taylor, and I need you to hit the share button, tag as many people as you can, let the Real Talkers know that we are on the air live and ready for a tremendous conversation on tonight. I just want to go back and just acknowledge all of you that are coming in on this evening to the Real Talk studio. Yvonne East, bless you, Yvonne. All right. Juanita Wins, bless you. Melinda Williams, as you're coming into the Real Talk studios on tonight, please put your name in the chat. Barbara Smith Taylor, blessings unto you, Barbara. 40 years. Camille Norman, bless you. Valencia Clark, bless you. Sandra Wilson, bless you. Laverne Wilson, bless you. Linda Green, bless you. All of the Real Talkers are coming in on tonight. As you're coming in, listen, I need you to hit that share button and tag as many people as you can. Charlotte Staggers is in on tonight. Pat Wilson is in on tonight. As you're coming in, Mother Eunice Newland is in on tonight. As you're coming in, hit that share button and tag as many people as you can and let them know that the Real Talkers are on the air on tonight. Well, listen, it is April 24th, and it is Earth Day. I don't know if you knew that, but all over the United States and around the globe, we are celebrating. Communities and people and cities and states and countries are celebrating globally Earth Day, established right here in the United States in 1970. It serves as a global reminder of the significance of environmental conservation and sustainability. This year's theme is planet versus plastic. That's very important. Planet versus plastic. I didn't realize that the plastic that we consume, the plastic water bottles, the containers of plastic that have food and different things, these plastic containers are very dangerous to the environment. And a lot of it is washed up on shores across the world, seashores across the world, plastics. And a lot of it is damaging to our wildlife, to birds, and things of that nature. And so Earth Day is a reminder of the significance of environmental conservation and sustainability. And again, this year's theme is planet versus plastics. And it just aims to draw attention to the threat posed, watch this, by the plastic pollution, and advocates for a 60% reduction in plastic production by the year 2040. The focus is on safeguarding human and planetary health by phasing out single-use plastics, pushing for a robust UN treaty on plastic pollution, and investing in innovative solutions for a plastic-free world. So this year's Earth Day theme is planet versus plastics. And that's good to know, because before I did this research, I didn't even really know the damaging effects of plastic to our environment and to our planet. I was at an Earth Day event on today in Queensbridge Park, and at that event, I was asked to speak, of course, and I opened my remarks with Psalms 24 for Earth Day. I said, "The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and those who dwell therein." for he has founded it upon the seas and established it upon the waters. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, and they that dwell therein. That was my opening scripture on Earth Day today. And I think it's so important for us to acknowledge and to recognize how good God has been to us in this season that we're in. But not only that, we couldn't even enjoy this season if God did not create in the beginning the heavens and the earth. And it is our job to preserve it. I think about when people ask me about, well, what are some of the little things that I can do on Earth Day to preserve and to do my part to preserve the planet? Because remember, we're preserving the planet for the next generations, for our children, our grandchildren, our great grandchildren, our great great grandchildren, our great great grandchildren. It is our responsibility to take care of the planet for them. We're occupying it, and it is our responsibility to be good stewards over what God has given us authority and control over, so that we can pass it on to the generations, right? That's right, Camille, passing it on to the generations. And so I've had some tremendous conversations today. I was with who I call the czar of environmental justice for Queens. He ran for borough president. He's the former city council member of the 19th Council District here in Astoria. I think I have that right. I think it's 19 or 22. And but right here in Astoria, he was born, raised here in Astoria, Queens. And a fun fact that you might not know, me and Constantinides share the same birthday. We share birthdays, January 7th. And it just shows you why we're so closely aligned, and our hearts are knitted together as it relates to community, as it relates to environment, as it relates to the things that God has called us to do as a ministry, and what he has put in the plan for us as we impact community. And just before I bring Costa on tonight, some of the things that I mentioned earlier in the park was, you don't throw paper on the ground. These are things we have to teach our children. Paper goes in the garbage can. We have to teach our children how to recycle. Plastic bottles go in the recycle bag. Regular food goes in the garbage can. We have to also think about composting. I know a lot of people don't do this, but composting is also big. Taking your scraps, your leftover food items, and putting them in a separate container for composting, taking your fruit and your vegetables and recycling them and taking them back into the earth. So there's a whole lot that we could do in preserving the planet and doing our part as good stewards. And watch this. Who better to be an example of preserving the planet than us, the people of God? Those that know their God will be strong and do exploits. We should be the examples, the examples of carekeeping of the planet that we are occupying now, and that is planet Earth. Well, listen, I want all of you to know on tonight, don't forget on Wednesday morning, rather. I got night on my mind. You heard me, right? On Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. Put that flyer up real quick, T. Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. is our Wednesday morning word. And this Wednesday, I will be in the sanctuary this Wednesday. God has given me a powerful word for you on this Wednesday morning. So meet me at 6 a.m. The doors of the sanctuary open up at 5 a.m. and you can join us. And we start promptly with the word at 6:01. Thank you. And you'll be blessed and highly favored by joining us on Wednesday morning. And then, of course, my co-host, Bishop Liston Page II, has the School of the Bible on Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. And you don't want to miss Bishop Liston Page II, Dr. Snowden, and his team as they break open the Word of God every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. And then, of course, on Friday night is the Friday night encounter for our Bishop Liston Page and the Highway Church. Also, just to highlight, he will be celebrating, the Highway Church will be celebrating the 25th pastoral anniversary for His Grace, the Honorable Bishop Liston Page II. And you don't want to miss this celebration as 25 years. Wow, what a milestone. 25 years. Congratulations to Bishop Liston Page II. What a tremendous time that we have to celebrate this great man of God. All right, listen, I want you to hear my friend Costa Constantinides, former council member, now the president of the Variety Boys and Girls Club right here in Long Island City. I had a chance to talk to him earlier today. Join me as we hear this conversation. Okay, I'm joined by Costa Constantinides, former council member of Astoria. He served after council member Peter Vallone Jr. I want to give you some fun facts about Costa. He was born and raised in Astoria, went to PS 84, went to PS 122, went to Queens College, went to Cuozzo Law School. And then here's another fun fact. I don't think you even realize, Costa, both of us were born on January 7th.
Yeah, we're birthday buddies.
We're birthday buddies, Capricorns. And it's amazing how, I believe our hearts were knitted together when you became council member, and you were a strong advocate for Astoria houses and the community. And you knew about the community because you grew up here. And one of the things that you began fighting for and really raising awareness on is the environment. And I considered you the czar of the environment, especially here in Northwestern Queens and the greater Queens area, but particularly in Asthma Alley. And I thought today on Earth Day, we were just together a few hours ago, and I just thought today on Earth Day, you were so eloquent in expressing why we were at the park right across the street from Big Alice, which was put in operation in 1963. It's been there 61 years. It gives 100% of its power to Manhattan and 100% of its pollution to Astoria, Long Island City. And you've been a strong advocate to change those dynamics. And on Earth Day, where we're thinking about Mother Earth, why don't you tell us a little bit why today was so significant for you and us coming together to talk and to highlight Earth Day?
I mean, Bishop, you've been there with us. You've been living in this community your entire life, and you've seen the same issues that families have been dealing with that I have. You look west of 21st Street, and you see children disproportionately having asthma pumps, going to the hospital with respiratory illness, having issues with asthma, because every time those power plants click on, when you talked about Manhattan needs that extra power, what happens? The peaker plants click on in our neighborhood, and it spews out all the junk, the particulate matter, the nitrous oxide, the sulfur oxide, all the stuff that gets in people's lungs. And our kids and our families are the ones that suffer. So, I mean, the opportunity to transform that space, which has been the primary cause of Asthma Alley, west of 21st Street, into a renewable row, into a wind power and renewable energy hub that's still going to keep good jobs and create economic development for the neighborhood. I mean, this is something you and I have been fighting for our whole lives, and to see those stacks finally come down. because that's the promise that they're making to us. And
That's
that's what's so important, is that we're going to see that piece of the New York City skyline. I still remember sitting with Errol Lewis on inside City Hall and saying to him, "Do you know about Big Alice?" And next thing I know, the whole interview churned from what was supposed to be a different conversation into 5 minutes on Big Alice and the impact on Western Queens. We're going to take that off our skyline, and the New York City skyline looks a whole lot different and a whole lot better for our families west of 21st Street.
And what's interesting about the smokestacks is, as a kid, when I saw the smokestacks, and I think some of my, some of the other children too, we thought it was cool, the big smokestacks, and we were waiting for the smoke to come out, and it would blow like a whistle when the smoke would come out and go up in the air, and we say, "Uh-oh, there it go." But we didn't know that was polluting the air, contributing to our struggle to breathe in our own communities. And I might add my dad, Bishop Moses Taylor, who will be celebrating his 100th birthday, if he was alive, on May 10th, Friday, May 10th. He would have been 100 years of age. But watch this. He died from pulmonary fibrosis, a rare lung disease. He wasn't a smoker, and he didn't live a reckless life at all, as you know. But he lived in this community, and he served this community for so many years. And there's so many testimonies of people that have had similar conditions that have died prematurely, possibly because of the contaminants that you just described.
I mean, every day, whether we know it or not, we're breathing in that stuff. When it gets a little colder, the smoke crystallizes and you see the white smoke come out of those stacks. But on a day like this, where it's 60 degrees, you have no idea that you're breathing in toxins. You have no idea that you're contributing to your lungs not being in the best shape they can be. You have no idea what's actually happening to your physical health. And your dad was a man of service to this community, and we lost him prematurely because of the toxins and because of the environmental racism that's going on west of 21st Street. And that's why it's so important for the governor to get this right and to kind of cut through a lot of the bureaucratic nonsense that happens in government, because government's its own worst enemy. When I was in government, I loved the government because I could get things done, and I hated government because we never get out of our own way. This is an instance of us needing to kind of cut through all the silly stuff. And, one person saying, "We're going to get this done. We're going to do it. We're not going to take no for an answer. And, this has to happen because the families, the law that we wrote, the CLCPA, that's one of the strongest environmental laws in the country, has to have teeth. If it doesn't have teeth, then what are we doing here?"
That's right. That's right. Well, listen, I can say with an assurity, we have teeth in Astoria because we have Costa. And Costa, you're continuing to fight. And, you have now transitioned as our council member to the executive director at the Variety Boys and Girls Club. And one of the amazing wonders of the Boys Club, the Variety Boys Club, is that spectacular pool. Pool. And what you do, making that amazing facility available to our children. Thank you so much. And your vision to build this new facility, on 21st Street. You want to talk just a little bit about that?
Oh, no, thank you, Bishop. I mean, look, you and I have talked about how we just need to do more for our kids. Our kids deserve better, and that's what we've both been working towards for almost 20 years with one another. And now, being able to deliver for the Boys and Girls Club a new building that's going to be carbon neutral, so staying on the Earth Day theme, 14 stories with 230 units of housing, all affordable, 60 units set aside for kids aging out of foster care, first planetarium in Queens, 1,000-seat arena. We're going to build a space worthy of our families, and a place that can serve 16,000 kids when we're all done. And we're very close to opening our urban farm. But I can't wait to show you on Northern Boulevard on Standard Motors building. And that's going to be a full acre of land to let our kids who don't have access to fresh fruits and vegetables to grow their own stuff and to take it home with them.
Wow. From the farm to the table.
Amen.
Listen, Costa, I love you, brother. I thank you for your advocacy. I thank you for our alliance with the community and just shoulder to shoulder trying to do our best to make sustainable change. Shout out to your lovely wife. Shout out to your son and to your, listen, this is going to be a wonderful year because we're going to have to hold the governor. We're going to have to hold the legislators. We're going to have to hold them accountable to the promise that they made. We don't want a blank check. We want the check to be cashed. And for this movement, for wind and turbines and whatnot, to be a reality so that we can change Asma Alley, as you so eloquently described, as renewable growth. So this is awesome. Thank you, Costa Constantinides. And I have learned to pronounce that great name, and because you're such a great advocate for our community. Thank you so much.
Bishop, thank you. And, you've been doing this. You've taught me how to be an advocate, how to be a fighter for this neighborhood. So when I'm following in the footsteps of someone like yourself who's made a lifetime of service, I just try to do my part. So I feel very blessed to have you as a family member and someone that I consider a mentor and someone that has been to guide me in this journey. So we're gonna get this done together. We're gonna make sure it's not a blank check. We're gonna hold the governor and everybody else accountable. And I'm excited to see those stacks come down. We'll be there arm in arm when it does.
Yes. Well, thank you, Costa. Thank you for joining us on Real Talk tonight, and we'll see you real soon.
See you real soon. Thank you.
Well, you heard it first right there, and he was still in the park. I left him in the park, and I said, listen, we're going to talk about this. And he said, no problem. I'm going to stay right here in the park. I asked him to come on in the studio. He said, no, I'm going to stay here in the park and do it right from here. And Costa, thank you so much for joining us on Real Talk tonight. I know the Real Talkers enjoyed that conversation on this evening. And that's our former council member in Astoria. And he was responsible for directing hundreds of thousands of dollars in government funding to the Astoria community, particularly to Astoria houses. And we're grateful to have had such an amazing legislator to serve in our space. Now, I've got another guest on tonight that I'm going to bring in. I need you guys to hit the share button and tag as many people as you can and let them know that Real Talk is on the air. And we've got some real exciting things to share with you on tonight. And I want you to welcome my next guest on this evening. She is a woman of God, first of all. Secondly, she is a legislator, a lawmaker. She's a mother, she's a wife, and she's a community activist. And this is not her first time joining us on Real Talk. I want to welcome tonight and ask you just to join in with me. There's two segments. Want to bring this first segment on first. This is our deputy borough president. Now listen, in New York, we have 5 boroughs, and New York has basically 5 cities within a city: the Bronx, Brooklyn, Staten Island, Queens, Manhattan. And each one of these boroughs or cities within the city have presidents. And our president for Queens is a young, exciting African-American young man named Donovan Richards. And his assistant, the deputy borough president, is an exciting young woman named Ebony Young. And I had an exciting conversation with her after Earth Day. She was also at the Earth Day celebration. And I want you to welcome her tonight as we kick it for a few minutes about Earth Day, about what she's doing in the borough president's office and how they're making a real difference in our community. Don't go nowhere. Stay right with us and check this out. All right. Welcome. Deputy Borough President Ebony Young. Thank you so much for joining us on Real Talk tonight. Before we get started, let me just say a little bit about Ebony Young. For the past 20 years, she's been working in the nonprofit sector as an executive leader at institutions like LIC, YMCA, TF Cornerstone, the Black Entrepreneur Initiative, and the Ladies of Hope Ministries. She has been charged with leading, organizing, facilitating, and operating nonprofit organizations to the highest efficiency levels, specifically in the areas of youth development, healthy living, and social justice reform. She's also spent time in the private sector as a vice president of corporate social responsibility. She's previously served on several Queens boards, task force, and advisory committees, serving youth, adults, seniors, athletes, artists, environmentalists, which we're going to talk about today, in her local Queens community. Giving back to the community with confidence, passion, and innovation has led her to be a true community builder, connector, and educator. Ebony received her Bachelor of Science in Communications, RAD TV from Indiana State University, and is also a graduate of Indiana Tech, where she received her master's degree in organizational leadership. Ebony is a motivational speaker and a certified life coach. She resides in Woodside, Queens, with her husband and her 3 beautiful children. And I might add, one of her latest accomplishments was pulling off the Queens Tech Hub, where she connected Lagos, Nigeria, where our church is, the Calvary Bible Church, with Queens, New York.
Yes.
Lagos and Queens came together because of Deputy Borough President Ebony Young. Ebony, thank you for joining us on Real Talk today.
Happy to be here with you, Bishop. You do so many great things for the community. I just want to thank you for that, first of all. And I'm continuing that, the hope is that we continue to do that work together because we're stronger together.
Absolutely. And, today you're here because today is Earth Day.
Yes.
And we were just together a couple hours ago in the park, Queensbridge Park, across from the largest public housing development in the country, and right next door to Big Alice, a generating power plant that was commissioned in 1963.
Yep.
So for the past 61 years, we have been looking at the iconic 3 stacks that you can see when you're on the East River of the FDR Drive, when you're looking from Manhattan to Long Island City, and you see those 3 smokestacks, the gray stacks with the red, white, and red stripes. I'm looking at it right now. Red, white, and red. I guess that's the planes. They can see
3
it.
stacks.
Yeah, 3 stacks. And this power plant is responsible for generating 45% of the power that's distributed to Manhattan Island. But watch this, 100% of the pollution distributed to Long Island City Island. What about that?
It's a problem.
It's a problem. And growing up, when I used to look at the stacks and see the smoke, I said, "Whoa, look at the smoke!" And sometimes it would make noises, and you would hear it, and we would be excited, not knowing that plant was a part of our health demise. And we're living in what they call Asthma Alley.
Yes.
Asthma Alley. And I tell this story a lot. There are many stories I can tell about young people in my church that have asthma. I can tell about a young man that died from asthma. He lived diagonally across from Big Alice. He was 18 years of age. My father, who is the founder of the Long Island City Gospel Church Center of Hope, died from a rare lung disease, pulmonary fibrosis. Where did he work? Where did he serve? Long Island City, all of his life. And I don't know if there's a connection there, but I do know that there's a real connection. We just had what I call the czar of the environment here in Astoria, Long Island City, Costa, and he gave us some facts about the pollutants. But you and the borough president, Donovan Richards, who has done a fabulous job. Let me applaud the borough president of Queens, Donovan Richards, and also to you, Ebony, the deputy borough president, and your team, and the teams that surround the borough president, because it's because of your talent, your time, that he is able to accomplish so many exciting things. Tell us what you're doing and why it was important for you to be at the park for Earth Day and the work you've been doing around it.
First, there's been like a huge environmental injustice. You just named it, Bishop, and I think you are dead on understanding, right, the replications of that injustice, like throughout the years. And it's interesting when you have one piece of a consortium trying to fight for this, be it the Tenant Association presidents, you, your father, all of the massive amounts of families that have suffered from this. And those voices have not been able to move this in one single piece of that consortium on a huge level. It took the whole ecosystem to make the injustice real, right? Which meant that you pulled in the Ravenswood and Queensbridge tenant associations and the families and the communities and Urban Upbound and Center of Hope Ministries, BP Richards and NYSERDA and Rise Light and Power and the czar, right?
Yes.
All together. And it feels like right now where this is at is that all of this power in this consortium has led to enough. It's just enough, right? Yeah. I mean, you said it yourself today. You've got, the icon, right? You've got Miss Colger, who's been fighting for this for years, way before us, right?
Yes.
Years upon years, advocating. And when Black wasn't cool, right. All of a sudden, Black is cool, and now people are listening, right? And so I appreciate all of this power that's coming into this, but I always want to remind our people in Ravenswood and Queensbridge that it wasn't because of these people that this is changing. It was because of your voice that didn't stop. Right? That kept knocking. It was because of your father's voice. It was because of the Center of Hope Ministries voice that continued to knock, even if it was little chisels to get to this renewable change.
Right.
And yes, the borough president is doing an amazing job with Reimagine Ravenswood and getting folks to the table and putting those voices. But our borough president and myself are very clear that this work has been going on way before us. And the reimagining piece is truly reimagining because you've already imagined it. The people there have already imagined it. And so what we're coming in to do is to help reimagine. And we never want to lessen that power. That power from the people is so imperative. And it's been happening for years. All we're doing is adding value to it.
Wow. But see, listen, you get lost in that conversation with Ebony, and she is just such an exciting interview. And let me just stop right here just to remind you guys, on Wednesday morning, we have our Wednesday morning word. Put that up real quick so folks will have the credentials. Wednesday morning word. And this Wednesday, I might add, I got a powerful word to share with you from the Lord. And I don't want you to miss it. Join us on Wednesday morning. The virtual doors open up at 5 a.m. and I start my ministry at 6. And I believe you'll be blessed and highly favored. Also, Wednesday night, School of the Bible with Bishop Liston Page, Dr. Snowden and their team. And then on Friday night encounter with Bishop Liston Page and the Highway Church. Don't forget those announcements on this week. Now, go with me back into the second part, the last part of this interview with Ebony Young. Just a few more minutes, and then I'm coming back with some exciting news. Wow. And, that's so powerful, because to have a Black borough president, a Black deputy borough president, a Black mayor, a Black deputy borough president of the Bronx, a Latino borough president of Brooklyn. We have a white Manhattan borough president who is a partner as well. We have a mosaic and a rainbow. And we have, a Black mayor. We have a Black public advocate. We have a Black speaker of the city council.
Moving the world.
Listen, there's no reason why. Come on.
No reason.
All the stars are aligned, no pun intended.
No,
but all the stars are aligned for us to move the world. If we don't move it now,
I believe that.
The question is when.
When
you said it, Miss Colger. I always say this all the time. God called me to ministry.
Amen.
My father endorsed that. Miss Colger called me into public service.
Wow.
She said, young man, you're not just going to be a minister preaching. You're going to be an activist in the community.
And
she
that's
put
what
me
you
on
are.
yeah, and she put me on my first board over 38 years ago.
Oh, it's amazing.
I mean, yeah.
Our
And
people
so
have been fighting for ages. Our people have been on the ground, and it's gotten to a place and a point where, because Black has gotten cool, right?
Mhm,
Now the doors are opening up, but we shall never forget. We shall never forget all the work that our elders put into these places and spaces and cracks and nooks and crannies way before, a Rise, Light, and Power came to their senses, because
That's
they
right. That's right. That's right. That's
way
right.
before that. And we just want to pay homage to that. We want to pay homage to their voices that,
Right.
that maybe weren't heard as loudly as it is now, but they were there,
Right.
and they were
right.
advocating.
And you know what? And shout out to Clint Plummer,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
they came with the mindset of purchasing that generating plant.
Absolutely.
His career has been renewable energy,
Yes.
and transforming these old
Yep.
ways of generating power into renewable energy. And so I'm confident that we have the right players on deck. Governor Hochul, please help us deliver on this promise to
Please.
the people in Astoria, Ravenswood, Queensbridge, 30,000 residents
Yes.
that have, for 4 generations or more, have been victimized
Ooh.
by Big Alice.
Ooh. Clint said it very powerfully at our event today. Change is here. Now we got to deliver change, right? We've got to move with change. And I think that's something they're taking seriously, and that they're truly activating on. So we're in begging plea of our governor to fall in suit on this.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you so much, Deputy President. I just want to ask you, there's so many exciting things that you guys got on the horizon. Is there anything that you want the Real Talkers to know about that you got coming up in the next couple of weeks or so that you want to announce today?
Yeah, I mean, stay tuned for, as Bishop stated, the big announcement around the first diversity tech hub in New York City, happening right near Queensbridge. And so we are very excited about that. Queensbridge happens to be the largest public housing in the United States of America. Many of you know that. And so if it is, what are we doing? Where's the alignment of true movement, true growth, and true innovation? Well, it's here. And so we're excited to get this launched off and have our first African-American man, a Princeton graduate, UCLA attorney, worked in Silicon Valley, worked with the Biden administration, coming in to run this hub so that Black people and brown people sustain their excellence.
And that's going to be right in the Altice building, right?
Right in the Altice building on the 33rd floor. Floor to ceiling windows. A lot of our seed and Series A tech entrepreneurs say people drop us when we get to this place. What does it mean? Our pre-seed work, people throw money at us, right? As soon as we start elevating and making stances in seed and Series A as an entrepreneur, our money's gone.
They leave us. They leave us.
They leave us. No more. We've
Wow.
decided to change that.
And that's because of your vision and your vision to undergird the borough president in expanding tech in Queens. And so thank you. Thank you, Ebony. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us on Real Talk tonight.
Okay,
And
I'm ready.
I'm looking forward to seeing you real soon.
Thank you so much, Bishop. Thank you all.
Ebony,
Have a great evening.
Wow. I'm enjoying this format here. Let me bring my co-host in. Just came in from the airport. I told him he could just rest. He didn't have to. He'd rushing from the airport to get here and whatnot. But he's here. Let's bring on the Honorable His Grace Bishop Liston Page II.
Wow, this has been a whirlwind day, but I'm glad to be back.
Well, welcome, Bishop. Welcome. I told you to go ahead and take a break, man.
Listen, I know, but I couldn't.
They called me from the city of Atlanta. They said, would you please send a private jet, pick him up, and don't let him come back down to Atlanta until we send for him. And listen, I said, I don't control that man. I don't control that man. But they tell me Bishop House and Victory will never be the same again.
Man, we had a great time. But man, Atlanta, man, getting in and out of Atlanta, I can't say what I want to say on air, but it's like getting worse. It's unbelievable. That airport, either side, either Delta or United or American, getting in and out of Atlanta. Well, I think is it the number one or number two busiest airport in the United States? Something like that.
I think it's either number one or number two. Hartsdale. Yeah, Hartsdale.
Yeah, it's oh man, it was crazy. But it's good to be back tonight. It's good to be back.
Yeah, excellent. Well, listen, we got one more segment on tonight. We've got the president, Corinne Haynes. We've been kind of highlighting Earth Day. The numbers are low because, I remember when I was a kid, Earth Day was kind of boring for me too. But I think it's important that we put this in the bank, so that folks know that the environment is important. The theme for Earth Day this year is planet versus plastics.
Okay.
And I don't think people really recognize or realize how dangerous plastic bottles, plastic containers are to the environment. So we had a couple of folks on. We had Costa Constantinides, who is an expert in the environment, in our first segment. And I think it was very, very good. And so I have the president of Queensbridge Houses that's going to talk a little bit about Earth Day and her experience. And then we'll come right back.
Okay.
All right. We're joined tonight by Corinne Haynes. President Corinne Haynes. And she is the Resident Association President for Queensbridge Houses in Long Island City and a lifelong Queensbridge resident and community activist, mom, wife, and all of those things that you could imagine. The member of the Center of Hope International, a tremendous woman of God, and I'm just glad that you're here today. And today is Earth Day, and we had the Earth Day celebration in Queensbridge Park. Of course, right across the street from Queensbridge and right next door to Big Alice, the power generating plant that's been there since 1963. And 61 years, Manhattan has been receiving 100% of the power, and we've been receiving 100% of the pollution. And but I wanted to get your perspective because we were all gathered, and this is your community, and you've been fighting for environmental justice for many, many years. And so, what are your thoughts about this opportunity to retire the stacks and create renewable energy, change Asthma Alley, as it's been called, to Renewable Row? What are your thoughts on that, being the president of the largest public housing development in the country and the one that's been most impacted by these stacks?
First, I want to say thank you for having me on this platform, and thank you for considering what it has meant to me as a community leader over the years. I have, as you pre-stated, been fighting for equality in reference to our health in the community. And I have been personally impacted by the smokestacks by way of my children. They all are now in their 30s. However, they all grew up with chronic levels of asthma.
Wow.
And it's environmental asthma.
Mm.
So I was a part of a parents' social group for asthmatics back in, I want to say, 1990.
Wow.
And it was an opportunity for us to get resources, support with our children that are dealing with these issues related to the environment. So it's a huge achievement for us to be able to be where we are today, and even in celebrating Earth Day with the renewable energy proposed plan And we are absolutely 100% behind having Governor Hochul commit to what is needed to ensure that we are able to remove the smokestacks and all the negative challenges that we've been inundated with over the years. My kids are 30 something. It affected me, and I'm in my 60s. So this is something that we have been working collectively as a community and in individual pockets over the years. So I'm excited about where we're going with it. And again, 100% behind the initiative to make sure that we replace that with clean energy.
Yes. Well, listen, Corinne, thank you so much. We couldn't end Earth Day and we could not start Real Talk without having the president of Queensbridge Resident Association with us on tonight to give us commentary on Earth Day. Thank you so much, Corinne. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you next time. All right. Well, there you have it. This was a new format that we're trying out on this evening. And so thank you for the Real Talkers being patient with us. And as we are doing some new things, trying some new things, and I think it's going to work out really, really good. Let me mention that we're looking for everybody to join us on this Sunday morning. We'll be virtually here at 9 a.m. Bishop Page will be virtual at 10 a.m. And then we'll be live at the Center of Hope at 11 a.m. on Sunday, and then Highway at 12 noon in New Jersey. So please make plans now to be in your church on Sunday morning. I want to thank Reverend Dr. Robert Waterman, who came on yesterday and blessed us tremendously. Blessed us tremendously yesterday afternoon. And so I want to thank folks from Antioch. I want to thank Pastor Dr. Waterman for being with us on yesterday and blessing the people of God. Now, those of you that are with us, listen, we want to encourage you to sow a seed on tonight. Sow a seed on tonight. If Real Talk has been a blessing to you, then we would encourage you to be a blessing to Real Talk. The ways to give are on the screen. $ The Kohi Nation for Cash App, and for Zelle, The Kohi Nation at gmail.com. Cash App, $ The Kohi Nation, and Zelle, The Kohi Nation at gmail.com. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on Wednesday morning, Wednesday night, Friday night, and then on Sunday morning in our respective services. Don't forget, as you're putting your seed in, please put into the comment section done. I want to encourage everyone on tonight. I want you to sow tonight a $14 seed. $14 seed. Every person on tonight, sow a $14 seed, and I'm sure that you'll be blessed and highly favored on tonight. Thank you, Valentia, for your seed on this evening. As you're sowing that seed, just put done in the comment section, and I'm sure that you'll be blessed and highly favored. Well, I'm going to give the last remarks to my co-host on this evening, and then we're going to see you on next week. Bishop?
Man, listen, this has been a great show, a great format, and we want to thank Bishop Taylor and, of course, Talisha, all of the producers that have put the show together, and we look forward to what we're going to be discussing on next week. I think Planet Earth is a very interesting discussion. And when I was in seminary, Mitch, I had to take a class on the theology of the earth.
Wow.
It was a pretty intense class that talked about in fact, and they centered everything around that Genesis narrative, that when God created everything, he said it was good. So we don't handle plants and dirt and all of those things the way we should. We don't recycle the way we should. And, it was part of a systematic theology class I had to take. And it started out kind of slow, but as we got into it, it became a lot more interesting. And I really did not know at that time how you have many people that do studies on earth and garbage and the atmosphere, air and asthma and all of that type of stuff has a lot to do with it. And I didn't know that. But I'm glad that we were able to raise this type of discussion on tonight.
Yeah. I'll just say this last thing. My grandson, Caden, who just celebrated his 5th birthday on 4/20, he got a gift of planets and cars that go with the planets like Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranian. And when he got the box, he started taking out the planets, and he knows every planet by name.
Wow.
Pronounce them. He knows what they look like. The balls don't have names on them. They're just shaped like planets. He knows the colors of each one of the planets and can recite them, and he puts them in their positioning in the solar system. It's a tremendous gift he has.
Wow.
And I'm saying to myself, maybe he's going to be an astronaut or something, because he's into that. More than anything else, he's into the solar system. I said that to say that there are some subjects that are boring.
Yes.
But like you said, once you get into it, you really find and learn things that you didn't know before. And I didn't know that Earth Day was started in 1970. I didn't know that plastic is one of the biggest culprits of contamination of our planet and our animals, our birds. It's really something. I know Real Talk is kind of boring, but hopefully someone will go back and look at it and realize the information is pertinent, it's valuable, and we should really, take heed to the care and preservation of our planet.
But we got to get him a telescope. Does he have a telescope already?
I don't know if he has. I bought him a telescope to watch the eclipse, and with the special lens and everything like that. But it didn't work out. But I did buy him a telescope and what have you. So we was trying to look through the telescope and couldn't see them. Anyway, it was a mess. I probably didn't have it hooked up right, but I bought it. So it was cool. Well, listen, man, this has been really awesome. Thank you, Bishop Page. You didn't have to press the way you did on tonight. We were trying to hold it down for you, and but we're grateful that you came in on this evening. And Real Talkers, we're grateful that you're here on tonight. And as we say every time we sign off, walk with the King today and be a blessing. We'll see you next week.